Hi, folks. It has been a long time since I uploaded part 1 of 2, because I lost my motivation to make clips for my YouTube channel to see a reduction in subscribers in front of the series of Street View. It has taken a month to get motivated again. Then I settled myself on the place where I don't care about the number of the subscribers, but I will make clips to video Street View for myself, and to practice making English narration. Today, you will see the street to Yoshiwara from Senso Temple mainly, and coming back to the near area of the temple to the end. I have introduced Yoshiwara in another clip before, so I will not say much about it today. I hope you enjoy yourself to see the curved entrance and exit which had been built not to be seen from outside. As you can see, a lot of small shops gather around the Senso Temple. Tokyo Metropolitan Office claims that a certain part of the area may be settled illegally to open their business, then they should close their business to go out. Actually, the office sued them, battling with each other in a court now. There are a series of old police in the era of Edo as Anahei Hankacho created by Ikonami Shotaro, who was born and lived in Asakusa till he died. As he said, as usual, Asakusa has everything to make people's life rich, for example, theater, cinema, music hall, gambling parlor, food shops, restaurants and brothels as well. He said that people living there don't need to go out for any purpose to new cities like Shibuya, Shinjuku, and so on. Actually, there were a lot of old people who died without going out from Asakusa in their whole life. When I was young, as is often the case with young people, Asakusa was not attractive for me, because the atmosphere that gathered old but young emitted. And, I became old, fascinated by the area. However, I'm sorry that I can't drink alcohol since there are many nice shops that serve good food and drink for a reasonable rate around here. That virus is preventing foreigners from coming here for sightseeing, but there are a lot of foreign travelers as usual. Then, you should know, as is often the case with the place popular as sightseeing, that there are a lot of shops which sell souvenirs at a higher rate to visiting firemen. And you should seek souvenirs at discount stores instead in the city, escaping from popular sightseeing spots. You must see the shop which have waiting men to be served, but it would be known that the taste is not special but the rate is higher. Only stupid persons join a queue to wait for their turn patiently. I am a person who thinks that I might as well choose the shop to serve bad food as I have to join a queue to wait my turn in front of even a nice shop. There is a manga, Japanese cartoon, titled Kimetsu no Yaiba, which has ended, but TV series keep being on air. The latest title of the series is Yukaku, which means just the Yoshiwara located near here. Now it still exists as Soapland to be changed on the title, but the big difference can be seen, that is to say, Warren went off, who were ladies to serve on everything for men, such as dance, music, sophisticated conversation with men and of course service on a bed. However, Warren was a special lady who never sleeps with any men with money, but with only men the Warren admit as a nice man. Most of the Warren were married to rich men, as a TV star and so on get married with the rich. Yes, the Warren was an entertainer in the Edo era. There is a gambling parlor called Wins as a betting booth, and there are a lot of restaurants in front of it. Those restaurants are designed simple. One of the characteristic points could be nothing doors and windows, though there are roofs, looking like an open-air restaurant. Those are located along Hopi Road. I never remember the restaurants in Thailand without seeing the street. I like such easy entries without doors and windows. But those are tinier than those of Thailand, as if there were a lot of open-air stalls coupled. You can see many old guys to gamble and drinking on weekdays and daytime. I want to drink among such funny men and converse with them, but I'm sorry that I am a temperate man and even keep off gamble but FX. Speaking of FX, I have given it up after I lost a lot of money on the day the former president of the USA was elected and the day Brexit was settled. And I also lost some money on FX in the days of living in Savannakhe, Laos. Then, I made up my mind not to do FX again and actually I kept it off for about 4 years. But, I came back to play FX again as a gamble. You know, FX has never the method not to fail to get gain. I'm so stupid that it took 30 years till I understand it. Now, I restarted FX as a gamble with such money that I could lose. Indeed, I set a limit up to 10 grand without leverage to buy for only a lot of transaction. I could avert the crisis between Ukraine and Russia thus far on FX, though I got a gain of only $20 yesterday. It has been a month since I restarted FX, and I got about $100. That stands for winning and losing evenly. In short, FX is just like betting on red or black of a roulette with a probability of 50% to win. You are supposed to bet on the up or down on foreign exchange rate. Therefore, you should refrain from repeated transactions again and again in short intervals, as the law of large numbers says. If there were a winning strategy on FX, it could be the way to wait for the rate coming back to the point you got the position in case you lost your bet. Of course, you must not do leverage to avoid a loss cut. If you take this method, you will die without seeing if you won or lost your first bet on FX at worst. I am a retired man without any pension for under the age, so I have to do something to earn such a little money that I don't need to drain my savings. One is the monetizing on my blog, another is capital gain from investment, mainly stocks, then the other might be FX as I wish. Anyway, I gave up monetizing on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, I refer to it often these days in my clips. If you watched those, you would know of me not settling on a concept to make videos for my YouTube channel. I said that I quit adding narration in English on occasion. Another day I still edited a clip with narration like this. However, I could settle the concept after I gave up monetizing on YouTube. I just video scenery of the place I go and add narration in English to it. It's easy and very fun for me thus far. I don't care for what watchers think. The most popular clips are the videos that I made in Savannah K, Laos among my clips, but I like clips I made after I came back to Japan. Actually, I often see those clips by myself for fun. I like the clips, contrary to what the other watchers seem not to appreciate. I never see the clips I made in Savannah K, Laos more than twice, because I don't like my presence in the clips and talking by myself in poor English. I thought that the presence of oneself who makes videos is better to emphasize what one advocates. But now, I don't always think about it, but there can be a case that such presence might annoy watchers. Then, I quit playing by myself in my clips. What I will do with BGM is that I set my mind not to add any BGM to my clips, because I am such a skeptic that the sound of free rights will claim use rights in future, that is to say, in Beagling. However, I can't create music, so I will add narration not only for explanation but also to avoid silence instead of BGM. Though I don't like silence, I know that some people don't like excessive editing, for example, unnecessary long narration. But I will, moreover, add it from the beginning to the end. I see bad prevision that the narration will reduce watchers more, ha ha ha. Now, I'm riding on a bicycle in a narrow path along the main path leading to the front of Sensoji called Omotsando. The reason I ride here is because the main road lets people crowd. A little bit ahead, I will turn right to enter the street leading to Yoshiwara. Yoshiwara is the place I introduced in another clip, but I will again introduce but show only the way this time. The way to the place is very simple. Actually, you are supposed to go straight until the spot where a gas station lies, then turn left up to the police box, where the very spot historical brothels gathered once. Even if you are not interested in ladies working at the soap plant, there is a historical shrine to enshrine spirits of ladies who died in their shorter life for hard work. On coming back, you should come through the opposite street. You would enjoy yourself in the atmosphere of downtown of Tokyo. Of course, you can choose which way you use first, though it might be a long way if you take a walk. This scene is edited faster than the original speed for a little while, as you can see. Anyway, going straight as I said before. Monotonous scene continues up to the gas station. At first, I thought that I should cut the scene for monotone, but I remembered I wanted to show you the way to Yoshiwara, so I didn't cut it. I think that this street is not special. I don't know why fascinating shops don't lie around here despite this area being near the temple. Maybe, because the opposite street gathers nice shops, of which name is Sensoku Street facing Yoshiwara. I saw after coming home to look on Google Map, this street shape's not so much straight as arc. So, it is more indirect than the way to go on Sensoku Street. Anyway, it can be correct that this way is easier to access Yoshiwara. Oh, I had forgotten that everyone has one smartphone which leads you to anywhere on the map with ease these days, so, Sensoku Street would be a better way with the smartphone. There was an occasion that I happened to find shops dealing with experimental appliances were crowded in Bangkok, Thailand. This street looks to be such a street. I don't think that it is unusual even if I find shops dealing with rare items. If you walk in a street, the probability of finding an interesting shop will be higher. Not to mention motor cars, bicycles are also not a suitable way to find something new in a street for the faster speed. I like walking as well, but it has the disadvantage of taking a longer time to move the same distance compared with a bicycle. When you ride on a bicycle, you could recognize the same cars running along you for red signals. That is, cars can surely run faster than the bicycle, but red signals prevent the car from going faster in the crowded city. and the bicycle could catch up to the cars at the cross points. The news often reports on malignant drivers who brandish behind, and some of them resort to violence these days. Most of the cars have a drive recorder now, and such violence was recorded and broadcasted. I came to like the bicycle all the more for the news. There are some curves to blind inside of Yoshiwara, though the purpose ended. The soap lamps lie not only on this street but also on the street to cross this, though I didn't know, I saw it when I happened to look left on going at a cross point. I didn't think that it was worthwhile returning back to check the street. So, I'm sorry that the scenery was not videoed. If there is an occasion, I will shoot the street. A friend of mine told me about a lady who worked at a soap land and a customer of the diving shop he managed once. He is living in the Philippines now. When he came back to Japan for a little errand, he happened to meet her, but he didn't recognize her until she explained that she often attended the diving tours he managed. And she invited him to her room of an apartment near here, sleeping for a night. He is living with a younger Filipina, and doing his YouTube channel with 20,000 subscribers, earning such money on the channel that he can afford to live there without spending other money. His way of living was my aim once, but I gave up monetizing my YouTube channel as I said before. Going along this street leads to Sensoku Street. I will show you a little bit ahead. And you can see the way using Sensoku Street to come here is shorter. However, some turns are necessary that makes the way a little more difficult. You will see many shuttered shops on Sensoku Street. It means because of that virus, of which name should be avoided to call the real name, because Google reacts sensitively these days, that is, Google doesn't allow the persons who deny standard view or who are not a specialist on that theme say colorable things. And Google set the index lower in its search lists. Anyway, all my contents on the internet, such as my blog, this channel on YouTube and so on, have not been appreciated by Google from the beginning, ha ha ha. I set my mind to keep out of Google world. Actually, what I turned to account in Google service are only Gmail and YouTube, the others had been given up. Even AdSense, which had gotten me $300 a month through my blog site, I cancelled. You should appreciate my attitude towards the Google empire. The reason why I can't give up the services of Gmail and YouTube is nothing, I use it with only momentum. So, I will give them up all the time. I have not used Facebook at all, I don't know the merit of using it. My Laotian wife, who lives separately away from me to look for a future divorce with me these days, has been using it with her Laotian friends and families. Though I was seeing her using it, I couldn't understand what was fun. Contrary to that, I have been thinking it is a waste of time. You might as read books as read crap remarks of your friends on the Facebook. I don't also use Twitter at all. In detail, I had used it once but quit it soon, because I couldn't figure out what I should write down on Twitter in the shorter words. Blog is best for me, even if they might say it is out of fashion these days, because the blog doesn't rule me, allowing me free self-expression. Moreover, my blog site has a lower probability of being banned, because it lies on a rental server with my own domain. After I gave up AdSense, I have a task how I may monetize the blog. I have a plan to make a Kindle book to publish from the Kindle store of Amazon, and it will be linked from my blog pages as an affiliate. Just the timing, here we are, Sensoku Street. Turning right and going a little bit and this clip will end. This was my challenge not to ask BGM to allow me to be lazy free from making narration from beginning to end. I almost did it thoroughly for about 15 minutes talking, moreover it is not my mother tongue. The older my age becomes, the more I become a bold man who doesn't care for composition, though I never looked it up in a dictionary without wondering if it was correct or not in composition before. Contrary to that, I don't look up a dictionary, letting alone that they think I am stupid at English these days. What I'm contented with is that I got a style to make videos for my YouTube channel like this, that is, videoing Street View and adding narration to it. Just it. If you are annoyed about the narration, you should turn off the volume and turn on music you like instead. I live in Fuku City, located 17 kilometers from Shinjuku, so it is about 60 kilometers round trip between my home and Asakusa. My physical strength can almost resist now, but I don't think that I will continue to go to the Bay Area near Asakusa to shoot scenery by bicycle for a long time in the future. This concept to make videos will end when my physical strength can't resist the trip. However, my next concept is almost the same. I have a plan that I will use a folding bicycle instead of a normal bicycle.